bit of initial damage given. As soon as if they were to peek this upper pop dog position, though, boom, it should be plastering them to the walls. But either way, this shouldn't be too difficult for Winstrike at this point, and 4-0 definitely should be an attainable scoreline. That first, the rebuy from Sharks is sort of that vital press. Beating Boomich inside. You never want to tempt fate with Boomich. He's the king of pop.
Oh my god, he's actually pushing forward.
So good.
Oh my god, what is this Boomich? He spots the players on B though, now they know. Okay, fair enough, you know. It's an A attempt now. They're going to be turning back down through Pop Dog. Although the call perhaps came a little bit too late for Winstrike. They might be too late to the party even. World Edit Knife, he's got an AWP, he's isolated. If he dies here, drops an up, that could be round done. Luckily, he gets one, but it's Leo that gets the return. Although World Edit connects with a secondary, and that should be enough to draw the weight in favor of Winstrike. As we have... Okay, I'm not going to say this too soon. We have another one for Leo. It's a double.
Oh my god.
What? Norbert, 1-on-2. He deploys the smoke, but he's in a position where he probably doesn't get the defuse anyway, no matter what he tries to do. And RCF sprays him. That's the round. I am... See, what I wanted to say was if Boomich pushes up Pop Dog and gets killed, that's the round potentially gone, because he reveals, or more so, gives up such a portion of the map that you can't really afford to do so, especially with his weapon. You have to play at a range, you know, at that kind of range, and I think there would be definitely better choices to be made there, although Sharks, I mean, one hell of a round to win.
Yeah, you've got to give it to him. That was, if nothing else, a very, very impressive shutdown of Winstrike's buy. And like you said, Boomich, even if it'd have gone down the stairs, it would have been so much of a better outcome, because that player coming behind Boomich would not have obviously seen the first man. They would have got the at least 2 or 3 kills with that auto shotgun, and that would have been an entirely different outcome. But of course, it wasn't to be, and this time Winstrike have gone for their force buy. They get themselves an early frag though, as well, that it shuts out JNT. The rest of Sharks to divert toward that upper B holes. Norbert is ready and prepared for this though, and backed up this time by Quick with that MP9, a weapon at this kind of range that can be so volatile. They will trade back, but it's so beautiful from Norbert. A double for him as Quick keeps the attention. And with RCF left into a 1. Oh, that's so good. He throws away the AWP. Boomich even missing vital shot. Bondic should eventually finish, but that is so smart. They throw away the AWP. Not that they really need one, you know, desperately well that it has one, but it just makes sure that it doesn't fall into those hands. But again, stable and safe round from Winstrike.
It all lies on Norbert though. If he gets those 2 kills, the round almost certainly goes in their favor. But if he dies immediately, or just gets the single kill and then an immediate refrac comes back, then things could, you know, certainly change for the worse for Winstrike. Luckily, 4-1 though, and another force buy, or more so at least a full buy, excuse me, by Sharks. World Edit though? What is this play? He shouldn't be peeking, and luckily he does not. That is one of the ways you can lose upper B brown holes, or B entirely, as equally as you do lose A site, or, you know, control of A if you push pop. Those are the 2 vital positions you really have to hold on to. If you don't hold on to them, you either play defensively while just, you know, still keeping an eye on it, or, you know, you have some sort of a contingency prepared for any sort of incursion like that. Bondic down to 20. He's going to be hit by the AWP on JNT, and that's going to complicate matters for his duels coming up ahead. But with a minute left, Sharks have more than enough time to decide what they wish to do and how they wish to do it. And by the looks of it, they will be executing B. A bit of a fake out on A, though. I like this. JNT going to smoke Crossroads, and he's going to be running towards B itself. And Leo going to be the first man out. Nobody to spot him. This is crucial. They spot the man behind the curtain. It's Norbert. He's got an AK, but it doesn't matter. It's exit. It immediately punishes that peak, or at least that delayed peak. And it all in all, it looks like the round might be gone. Sharks might have just succeeded in winning it. Leo, yeah, that's a free kill if he peeks right here.
Best thing is though, as soon as well that it finds that first kill, he's off for the save, just like the rest of Winstrike. Best thing is obviously because Leo, yes, he could have peeked and saved his teammate from death, but it also makes that position reusable again in a next round, because Winstrike now do not know that he was playing that close. If he gets there again, it's a another passage, whilst a commonly used position, it still adds that element of surprise. But 4-2, and Sharks, they get themselves another round on the T side. This time, starting to make life difficult for Winstrike. They cannot get 2 drops out to these final players. If they do, it's going to be FAMAS, and most likely either an AUG or an M4. They do have a couple of rifles safe. There is always the chance to purchase, and yeah, we see rifles being dropped, so they will go back into a buy. Probably the smarter decision as well. But Sharks, they can finally start to build on some momentum, get themselves a couple of consecutive rounds, especially now that you can see their economy is beginning to build. They can fall back on that for the next round as well, so there's really nothing for Sharks to be worried about here. They just need to play their own game, and already doing that straight out of Pop. And Boomich, he's the first player to fall. RCF, even with a UMP, is already going to punish Peak. Boomich being controlled heavily in Pop, when usually it's his position that he loves to take control of, and already Ondik luckily able to trade. He finds himself 2, though, finally burns alive. But the attention has been drawn long enough for the diversion. But Norbert, it's so clean. His spray with an M4 is probably one of the most controlled at this kind of level. And KdTV left in a 1 versus 3 now.
Yeah, that's the round gone. I mean, what a way to turn things on its head, or on its head once more. Winstrike, at one point, you know, you feel like, oh, they're done. You know, they can't get one more round, or at least they're gonna have a troublesome round, and then it just all turns back again. Sharks reset effectively almost as they forced into this with 2 AKs and an AWP for JNT. This is a pretty dire moment here for Sharks as they invest pretty much all of their money, and I have to say, it's not a bad choice, but will it bring them what they seek? And those are rounds, obviously. Although, I think we should, again, reiterate the fact that this is, you know, Train itself is a map like Nuke, where as long as you get a few certain rounds on the T side, you're pretty good to go for the second half. But this is turning out to be a 3-on-3 world, and it brings it back to that manner and that state. But it's quick to peek from stop sign, a free kill, as Leo gets obliterated from the face of Earth. And oh, JNT, he's not fast enough for World Edit. At one point, World Edit was renowned as one of the, you know, finest oppers that CSGO had to muster up for. And certainly Winstrike, 6-3, a convincing result.
This right now
Actually,
is
6-2. Yeah,
is boding well for Winstrike, and a map that, again, is really up in the air about who is really going to take victory. Of course, Sharks, they could do exactly the same on their CT side. Again, like you said, it's one of those where you get 3-4 rounds. You can go into that CT side knowing that you can definitely build up on that pace. But quick. Oh, this is perfect. Flash is great. He will get traded back, but didn't even realize there was a second player there. Well, that it even finds one more as well. And this should be 7-2. Already a beautiful start for that CT side, and as quick, he's residing by those bins as soon as he peaks. So much info gathered, exit, no chance of survival against this M4, and backed up by further man. But 7-2, finally a gun round to come from Sharks. We might not see an AWP unless it goes, yeah, they can afford AWP and Kevlar, but yeah, of course, who purchases that. But again, Winstrike finally gathering momentum on this CT side. If only they did that on Dust 2, we might not have been up this third map. It could have been one of the more simple games for Winstrike to finish, but Dust 2 was what really put a spanner in the works, apparently.
It has put the spanner in the works, and well, it might just work out here for Winstrike, as their CT side has been so successful that there could be no turning off this engine, this locomotive from on its tracks, as it's going to be quick to find one more. Things are looking pretty darn good so far. And Sharks, they finally find the refrag. It's going to be the young JNT, but quick again. Jumps out, gets the kill, gets the return at least, and brings Knack and JNT to pretty much a almost unwinnable position. A 1-on-4 left though, even. And this is a hard battle for Sharks. And as I've said, you know, wrench in the works might impede your work overall or your progress, but certainly above all else, what's going to impede you most is the fact that your economy is shut, as well as your your ability to be able to grab rounds that you desperately need to win.
Yeah, and at this point, like, Winstrike, they have full control. They're making sure that Sharks do not have the opportunity to keep buying. They've been at this point with 11 rounds, it's been very, very balanced with how many pistol rounds and how many gun rounds Sharks have actually had. They've been back and forward off of constant purchases and low buys and forces. It's very, very difficult for Sharks to really gain any consistency, and already it seems like some of the same exit burns, and it's a simple cleanup. It seems like, I thought Norbert disconnected there for a second, but he's just sitting behind the smoke. He's playing smart. There's really no need for him to be at that A-bomb site when especially Quick and Norbert it popping off. Even the same for Bondic, really, but still. Exit finds one, tries to dive into connector. Norbert says no to that. 9-2. 1 round away from double figures here, Winstrike. It seems like they've already gathered so much pace and momentum here in half number 1 that it might just be resulting in maybe 11, 12 rounds for this CT side.
The storm has gathered, I guess, as you say. Winstrike, they're bringing in the wind, they're bringing in the tornadoes and the cyclones, and it's not looking too sweet for Sharks. They've got a full buy, and, well, they've got a pretty decent buy overall, but they've got a few things lacking. That's going to be RCF already dying, and oh my god, exit at 8 HP. 1 bullet is as good as gone. Luckily, JNT's able to refrag immediately. Bringing it back round, potentially saving the day, perhaps. As World Edit finds 1, it's going to be Exit and Leo that find 2 in return. Back to a 2-on-2, though, and a quick succession of kills will bring it back to pretty much winnable positions for both sides, although it's a vital moment right now, what they choose to do. And Bondic spots 1, takes the shot, misses his opportunity, but will not repeat, or at least should not repeat this. The AKs will wreak havoc if they're allowed that freedom, and oh no, Quick, though! He's the one that peeks instead of Bondic. That's a smart call. Now it's back to a 1-on-1, and Bondic will win the duel. As it is, Winstrike on 10. What a... I am a little bit flabbergasted as to how the rounds themselves are turning out. I mean, it's like kill after kill, and then it's just a quick succession, a quick trades of kills back and forth. And then in the end, it comes down to this vital, crucial 2v2 that both players of the Sharks side are just kind of defeated in. They don't even stand a chance by the looks of it.
Yeah, this is finally the Winstrike that we remember seeing. This is the Winstrike that were dominant through Season 1. We're taking victories off of teams that at their level were really posing very little threat. And Bondic, he's, again, gotten better in this series. He's been as good as he was on Nuke, and he's putting up those numbers that he just wasn't in the first map, of course, but
3 kills.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, very, very quiet in, not the first, but I think he ended like map 1 with 12 kills or something like that. So bottom of the leaderboard, but yeah. Finally, we're seeing Winstrike, play just smarter in general. Obviously, like Quick going for that peak there with Bondic backing him up. It was a surefire way to find kills. Norbert here on that B bomb site. Forced to play so safe, but it's so smart. Well, that he's there for the support. Remix on the flank. It's perfect. It's literally picture perfect Counter-Strike at this point, and Norbert, he finds himself a first, can't convert the frag there, Knack, and it's 11-2. Winstrike, you can tell it's getting late in Moscow because they're wanting to finish off this game, and they're doing it in such incredible fashion. With 11 rounds on the board, and penultimate round of the first half. Sharks, finally, I hope for their sake, taking a pause. We've seen very little pauses in this game, but...
Yeah. Surprising, really, isn't it? I mean, usually when teams are losing like this, you would usually see 3 or 4 pauses by this point already. Whilst for Sharks, this is, I think, the first one, actually. Like, in this, excuse me, the second one, actually. Yeah, I think it's the second one in this half. But it...
yeah, I think so.
Or I could be wrong. I mean, in any case, the point is here that, as you said yourself, Sharks, they're seeing no light at the end of the tunnel. They have no room to go for, or more so they have, whenever they hit the site, it feels like Winstrike is always optimally prepared for it. They've always got their players at the right spot at the right time, as if, they somehow predict their movements so well. And I think it speaks for itself that Boomich is allowed to push behind them as much as he did, still get only 1 kill, which effectively, in usual scenarios, even if he gets that 1 kill, that shouldn't be enough to tilt the round in the favor of Winstrike, right? Because they kill 1 man back, so it's a trade 1-for-1, right? And effectively, it's back to where they started, square one. But instead, just because Norbert is so effective, so good on that rifle hold on B, or so just the general hold of B, Sharks are getting no headway. They're being hit or more so they're hitting their heads into a brick wall, and it's not breaking, not by an inch. And as you said, Moscow, it's getting late. I think it's already 2 in the morning right now, or actually half past 2, so
like
yeah, 2:30 in the morning. It is definitely not a comfortable time for Winstrike to play an official match, but I guess this is where they really wake up and put trouble on the board.
Yeah, lucky for these guys, they have gamer sleep schedules, I assume.
Oh,
play till late, wake up late. It's a dream life. Luckily,
I would actually.
Well,
I would actually.
Gamer, I guess it's pretty good.
Yeah. I guess I would argue that the teams probably demand the players to sleep like at a normal schedule, so they go sleep by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning maximum, because it does affect your performance if you are too slow or too late. But yeah. It's 1:20 in Moscow. My apologies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Still.
Yeah.
For an official, it's pretty late.
They're in an office. Yeah. Pretty late day in the office. But still. This round.
Look at the sneaky play.
Making sure that at least he lets a play across, and Boomich again. He's allowed to flank. Well, then it even takes a shot at Boomich for some reason. Not too sure why. But still, 1 versus 3 in RCF. For this. So is Bondik. He makes it into a 1 versus 2, but only has very little HP remaining. Grenade goes down. Will at least be able to do great damage. Leo Drunky down to 29 and exit. If he falls, that leaves Leo in a very, very uncomfortable situation. Bondik plays very, very smart as well. Heads up to that heaven position. Spotted out, though, but already chooses to reposition himself. Gets himself down lower and tries to push his way in now. Time is ticking. Does have a defuse kit, though, and he can play this so slowly, but finally spotted and finished off 11-3. Sharks get themselves at least another consolidation round going into the final round of the first half. Winstrike, of course, able to purchase, but at least it's 1 more for Sharks at this point.
Indeed it is. Although, I'm 30 rounds. It's like reaching halfway into the cookie jar, basically. Not reaching the first cookie, or at least getting a bit of a crumb from that cookie, not eating it. This is not exactly a comfortable position to be in by Sharks. 4 rounds would be, okay-ish. But they're not MIBR. They're not Mr. Fallen, who's like, yeah, we got 4 rounds on T-side. It's easy for us, easy peasy, lemon squeezy and all that. Sharks, I think 4th round might just be realistic. They got the bomb planted already. Half of the team is not even on site yet. They got the bomb down, and Norbert, too aggressive, too quick. And it shall be a 4-on-3 retake. If Winstrike is going to have a lot of trouble winning, especially with, I believe it is Bonding coming in behind. And, well, Boomich has done that like 3 times in a row. So certainly at this point, Sharks will learn something, right? Surely they know, okay, we have to clear our flanks, right? We have to know our flanks are secure. Here comes Bondik. And good night, Bondik. World Edit, a 1-on-3. No chance that he wins this, unfortunately. 11-4. First half ends, and still, Sharks have a very hard road ahead of them. But with 4 rounds, perhaps a little bit easier to believe in it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, 4 rounds is still a good state to be able to go into that second half with. Like, you've seen how Winstrike, how dominant they can be. Sharks can definitely do the same in their half as well, but it all depends on this pistol round. Of course, Winstrike find victory in this one, and they're going to really propel themselves to most likely 12th, 13th, 14th round kind of scenario and really put Sharks into an uncomfortable position. But yeah, they need the pistol to survive.
They do indeed, and we'll be right back, gentlemen, after a short commercial break on the half, so don't go anywhere. We'll be returning in a moment.
LOOT.BET, made for live betting.
And of course, welcome back. Our second half, third map, last one of the day. Winner, getting at least a chance to still remain in the pool for the tournament, while the loser going to 0-2. certainly going to start creaking on the sides, but it is the pistol that we're watching, and it's my man Kieran that's watching it with me and commentating with me. Of course, follow me at Kieran the Caster, or myself at Overseer. A bit of a weird intro, I guess, but it is back at it again. Sharks, they've got the pistols in hands, and let's see if they can actually succeed in winning this one, as it is quite crucial.
Definitely is, and Sharks, basically the entire series rides on this pistol, whether or not they can keep themselves in this game. And again, there is all the possibility that Winstrike get the sort of same treatment that they give to Sharks in the first half. Very, very powerful beginning. And RCF, he'll definitely start that. Norbert already dead, probably one of the men you'd really want to keep alive in this pistol round. Boomich, though, will come in from the back and make sure that that B bomb site might look like a right target. There is only one man there, and RCF will keep himself safe on the back trains. There is a quick rotate from that connector position, but Sharks do have to be very, very careful that Winstrike, known for more of their sporadic pistol rounds, so this is a very, very odd setup for them, really putting them at a much slower pace this time. And as Quick heads down toward Ivy, joined by the bomb, it seems like Winstrike will dedicate themselves toward that A bomb site. 35 seconds left, though. They do have to begin to make a move, and JNT will spot the first player already. Forced back, though, by the utility. And this is where they begin that push. Smoke goes down and forces that first player out of position. Exit, he gets traded, or doesn't get traded, actually. Finds at least a frag, as JNT steals it away, but Quick and Boomich down to a 4 versus 2. And right now, this is definitely not a good round for Winstrike, not at all.
No, it's not, although it's a 2-on-3 now. It's a 1-on-3. And in the end, it's Mr. Knack that makes it a 3-on-none. Luckily enough, Sharks win the pistol. And it already looked shaky, as you said, for Winstrike. Somehow they still make it look dangerous and quite concerning. In the end, it is going to be 11-5. And Sharks, well, the pistol is theirs. But this is where the real road begins, or more so the real, the real uphill battle. The first round coming after the pistol should be easy. It's, of course, an eco for Winstrike. As we can see, no Kevlars, just a single deagle, a PT-50, so not really anything that should be of concerning factors for Sharks. But I guess the real challenge, or actually the one thing that will be important to watch, is the next round. That will be the AK buy. Winstrike, they're going to have everything they need. No AWP for World Edit, so it might be a bit of a nuisance, and obviously going to be a little bit lacking in that regard. I think we shouldn't be giving up that easily on Winstrike. Their T side in the past had been quite successful, and arguably their train, probably the best map they ever played, especially in the major, if we remember, against Ents, when they made that comeback.
Yeah, it's a very, very good map, and whilst online it's quite a different environment, again, you're still bringing in that same strategic sort of play, and especially after that major was, Boomich just diving back into main. But after, obviously, the major was finished, we finally got to see what teams like Winstrike and Vanguard were preparing on these maps. We finally got to see, the in-depth strategies they've been going over for weeks. Because obviously, like, before that major, obviously, the league was running. We saw a Vanguard and Winstrike, like, so redacted, playing so carefully as to not show anything. Once it was over, we started to see all the strats coming through from teams, and Winstrike, of course, going to be profiting from those. This time, this is a very important round. It seems like Quick has already been knifed in the early stage of this round, so we're going to be taking some damage already. But it's first gun round for Winstrike. Vital for them to find victory, to keep themselves just, floating toward that end finish line. Sharks, if they win this, they'll be getting themselves a nice little bit of momentum. But a double drop inside of Pop Dog. Of course, Boomich again confirming he is the king of Pop. 5-on-4, and already working out for Winstrike in this first gun round.
Yes, it is. Sharks, I mean, losing Knack, even one of the better players out of Sharks, who's been such a good player. I mean, overall, he single-handedly almost gave Sharks the victory on Dust 2, with 3 or 4 rounds being granted just by his sheer proper play and, obviously aim. And we can see right now Winstrike a little bit reluctant to hit A, but here we go. Finally, execution comes through. It's going to be Leo that's going to be sitting on back 6, and, well, he's already been spotted. Bondik to take his head off, as Boomich will find the second exit. Can't really get anywhere but an exit to his J&T. Does get the refrag at least, but a 2-on-4 is no easy matter to discuss and no easy matter to deal with. Bondik gets a secondary as RCF is still alive. A 2v1. Certainly a troublesome spot, a troublesome position, but Bondik, he makes the play, he goes away, and he saves the day. Actually rhymed. I'm surprised, and Bondik actually saved the day. Yeah, indeed. 12-6. Sharks, this couldn't have come at the worst time for them, because they win the pistol, they win the second, but they win the round that they were supposed to win the most of.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, Sharks, if there was any round that you want to win in this new type of meta, the pistol isn't even that one. Like, there was so much importance on the pistol in that pre-meta change. As soon as it happened, that pistol round has very little importance compared to that first gun round now, and Sharks, they're just not able to get themselves across that finish line to be able to take the first gun round, and that results in an eco for this one. 13-6 is most likely the outcome of this round. And Quick already hunting heads, shutting down Knack. 5 versus 3. Should be fairly simple to close out this round now, especially with very little left on the CT side. And Sharks will move into the next round. They will be able to put a buy on the board, of course. But Winstrike seems to have just gotten the momentum, but hang on a minute. A lot of kills going in the favor of Sharks right now. The Molotov does at least force RCF out. And as Norbert finishes the job, Leo Drunky left into a 1v2, but with so little HP. This should be a task that is all but completed by Boomich, and definitely is. 13-6. First gun round, or second gun round, but fullest of those two to come up from Sharks now, though, and this is vital for them to win.
Also important that World Edit gets that kill, so he doesn't die, drop the AK, and potentially gives a chance to Sharks to win. And again, you know, sure, Winstrike get that victory, get that 13th, but the round came so close to being lost. We should consider the fact that Winstrike themselves are playing on the edge of it all, and, well, it is going to be Sharks with a full buy. Double up coming out, J&T and RCF. I kind of like this, but it might be a bit too much an overkill even. Sharks will lose nothing yet somehow. Oh, what? How is Drunky or Marcel Leo still alive? Finally, he falls. It's a 4-on-4. It's Mr. Nacted that gets the refrag at least. Brings it back to man advantage for Sharks. Although, oh, he's not going to expect Norbert pushing him. That's a crucial error. Yeah, that's what should not have happened in the first place. Back to a 3-on-3, and, well, Winstrike. They have the time, they have the room, and they have the positioning to win this round. Although, Norbert will be caught, though.
Bondik right now, yeah, he's doing the right thing now. He was taking his time, though. He should be going back lines already to try and, you know, disturb the CTs from behind. They're not watching this position whatsoever, but Bondik, oh, RCF, he definitely is from Connector, and that's not good for Winstrike. Puts Boomich now into a very uncomfortable situation, a 1 versus 3. Yes, he does have the bomb in hand, can basically force out at least one player with the plant. And I think he heard exit, definitely did. I'm pretty sure was spotted now, but gets himself into that little boost position. JNT to finish, though, 13-7. And with Winstrike now into a very, very uncertain round, most likely an eco. But even so, Quick can't buy next round. Does make this very, very difficult. So, Sharks, they might have an input back into this game. They're only 6 rounds behind.
Yes, they are. Not a long way to go. Not an easy road to travel, though, as well. Or equally so. But, you know, the lucky break for them is the fact that they remain, or more so, they keep the 2 AWPs. Somebody hitting that bell. I love it. But yeah, as I said, basically, the important thing is they keep the 2 AWPs alive. So that gives them a lot of room to adjust their defense. Above all else, as we can see right now, RCF playing alone on B. This is where things could turn for the better, potentially. If Winstrike get on... Wait a second. Winstrike get onto site, unspotted, or at least for the most part. Final losing 1. The bomb's still going to be planted, though. Luckily, RCF connects. And that should be enough in the end. But how does Winstrike get the plant, and yet they do not even have... they don't even have utility. I'm a bit shocked.
Yeah, Winstrike given a free opportunity there, but I think it's sort of without them knowing it, probably fairly smart from Sharks as well. They don't want to be sitting up close against pistols, but
Yeah.
I can all but guarantee that was not the planned outcome there. But either way, they do find themselves the retake eventually. It wasn't a hard task to finish. Winstrike getting that bomb plant, though, that puts a lot of money back into that T side. That now allows Quick to be able to purchase. That was what they needed to make sure the round was safe. And yeah, we can see a lot of rifles, a lot of utility as well. So a better round for Winstrike and a chance for them to take victory yet again. RCF, being the secondary AWP, is hitting a lot of these shots, and that is what's really opening up these rounds for Sharks. The AWPs having heavy reliance, and they're really paying off at this point, but they have to keep up. And RCF, potentially opportunity to prove himself again here, but Image will at least stay passive for now.
Yes, they do. I do kind of like the fact that... Ooh, Nak, if he jumps into... Oh, this was a double bait out. So lucky he's alive, because if he had jumped straight up, or more so straight into this when he wanted to, he probably would have been welcomed by a spray of 60 bullets going towards him. 13-8. We have a slowdown on the round for both sides. I like this. Winstrike reevaluating their position, rethinking their strategy. Certainly will help them in the end, I think.
Leo, you're looking for a first peek. That's beautiful.
It is.
Nice flashbang as well, which is showing that Sharks, even with like that round disadvantage, still keeping themselves at a very, very calm position. That double drop again.
Yeah.
Proving so overpowered for Winstrike. Abused that twice against that same player as well. Leo finally hears the footsteps of WorldEdit retreating, trying to force Leo to really commit to that bait that WorldEdit is trying to send. For now, he is going to remain safe inside of main. They have to strike now, but look at Quick. He's in that back line and might not expect this, but Leo, he definitely does. Quick finds one, but that bomb is all but lost now. Has to be returned. Quick finds one more, though. And there's no time left, but if they find that final kill, luckily, JNT's run back to the bomb site. Keeps the game alive. They do lose a lot of men, but they won't matter. They've got economy left, and Sharks, if they get themselves another round here on that CT side.
Yeah, that's all that matters in the end. Get rounds, that's it. All you need is rounds, and that's all that matters. They are not lacking... I mean, they're not lacking in terms of overall... well, of course, they're lacking a little bit of utility and economy, but they've still got a full buy in this round at least. Instead, they need to tie this one as soon as possible, and we can see Winstrike take a bit of a faster play out of their books. It looks like a proper B execute, and I kind of like this actually. Change the pace, change the momentum, perhaps cut across Sharks' defense and, you know, cut them in half. And we can see RCF is responding to this already. He realizes what's coming his way. He's going to spray through. No, the Molotov will be a little bit deeper than he thought, and the pop flash is perfect. Now he's delayed his peak, and now the D players are already exited on towards site, towards yellow and oil. Another pop flash. Norbert will be caught by exit, at least there's that. It's still going to be okay, Nak is able to secure one more, although Boomich close range. There's a CZ. He gets the kill. Back to a 2-on-4, though. And there is not much room that Winstrike can play with. But the plant, again, goes their way. And what a truly well played out round by Winstrike. Regardless if they lose or win, they deal a little bit of damage as well as plant the bomb.
Yeah, and that's really ultimate success in that round. They came into it, obviously, with very little money. Come out of it with a bomb plant, even making sure they got the job done. But again, it's allowing Sharks that just a little bit more of an insight into the game, and that is getting quite dangerous for Winstrike now, because that T side, they will be most likely going for another pistol Kevlar purchase. I'd rather them do that than buy into this round, because it's going to be very minimalistic. They're going to have the AKs, Kevlar of course, but the utility is not going to be there, meaning heavy reliance upon the aim duels, and especially with the CTs, again, just abusing the AUGs, and rightly so. They're going to be very, very difficult to contend with. So yeah, Winstrike, they're going to play the smarter approach. Go for the pistol and Kevlar purchase, take the utility, and I'd hope to see another full execution. They've realized now that they can get out onto that B bomb site very easily. with, you know, basic smokes and utility. So there's nothing to stop them doing that again. Get another bomb plant down and go into that 25th round with so much money to purchase, and that's where you can really funnel a victory.
Yeah, you can. And the scary part of it all is they're not going to suffer from that much of a loss of economy, really, because if you think about it, right, they can plant, they get the extra $800, $350 for the planter, and, you know, just above all else, they already are at a pretty much almost max. Actually, I think this is now their second round that they lost in a row, so that's $1.9K loss bonus. Losing this would be, excuse me, no, it's 2.9 loss bonus, so they're at their third loss bonus round. And losing this will put them onto maximum. So they've got pretty much all they need to secure a full buy next, as well as, you know, already contending in this one. And 13-10 is no result to be joking around with. Sharks, they're so close. There are no rooms for mistakes. There are no room for errors now, because this could cost them the game. And we can see right now, already a bit of a mistake with the Molotov. This could really play the back in there. Well, could be a... Okay, fair enough. I guess that's one way to go about business.
Apparently so, but still, Norbert, Boomich both find trades. Shouldn't be too much of an importance on that, though.
Another
bomb
plant
is going to be planted again, and that's such a success from Winstrike. They get, another bomb plant, which puts more money into that T side. So whatever happens in the rest of this round now, it's already profitable for that T side, and that's great for them going into the next round. Well, that it will, of course, here Leo drop into the pop dog position. Doesn't manage to get the kill, though. Boomich with an AUG. Oh, this is perfect. He lets the first man cross. He takes out the second, but can't do any more. That would have been perfect. If the second man wasn't backed up in Ivy with him, he would have been able to get across, deny the diffuser, maybe, you know, get himself into a 1 versus 1 and win that situation. But luckily for Sharks, they don't let that happen. 13-11, only 2 rounds away from tying the scoreline now.
Yeah. I think we should also mention the fact that Winstrike had been very successful at damaging the economy of Sharks. We can see that 2 players are pretty much broken on that part, with, well, Leo and Exit having quite a little bit left in the bank. Knack just barely enough to buy up if they do lose, or if it does come down to a loss. But Winstrike, the full buy is here. World.BET has the AWP. The rest have quite a little bit of money banked up as well, including, you know, including World.BET having enough to rebuy if need be. So this is still all good for Winstrike. They've got 2 rounds lead to, or more so 2 rounds buffer to play with 3 to go to victory. They're going to take it slow. They have a bit of an execute setup for A, it seems like it. Although without Ivy control, this is very dangerous to execute, actually. And Winstrike, do they turn back round? Do they go actually towards B in the end? No, it still feels like A. I mean, they're smoking on towards side connector and back 6. Surely they go A. Here comes the execute. Yes, they go A indeed, and it will be a full commitment perhaps. The bomb is coming out of main right now. JNT hits the first man. It's going to be a second as well, as Boomich and Norbert jumping out through smoke and Ice Medium Pop. It's going to be costing them their lives. And Bondik, he spots the first, but it's immediately denied by JNT and Knack. And it looks like Sharks are not done just yet. Their undying devotion to victory is not limited by a few losses. And well, World.BET, what do you really do with 30 seconds left? You don't really, or you can't really get far, can you?
You really can't. At this point, Sharks, they are coming out incredibly strong. 13-12, a round away from tying the scoreline, and really starting to ask questions of Winstrike. They were such confident leaders going into half number 2, but again, it's the same thing of Sharks are doing the same to Winstrike, what they did to them in the first half. It's a similar scoreline, like with the rounds that they've secured now. So just proving again that you can go into that second half with, you know, 4 rounds and still come out and make this game very, very competitive. And if Sharks win this round, that really starts to force Winstrike into a very uncomfortable situation. That's going to be 13-13, not a lot of money on that T side. Of course, the loss bonus is now beginning to build incredibly. But again, it's still allowing Sharks the opportunity for the first time in this third match to take the lead, and already it starts off so incredibly well as JNT and Knack trade 2 for 1 and make that 3 now, as RCF, he misses the first shot but able to adjust. He is tagged down to 17, but with an AWP, you don't need all the HP in the world. More that it. Speaking of worlds, he is able to at least trade one back and come to a 3 versus 2. Quick though, does he spot the first man? No, he does not. Nak able to finish, and he closes out the round as well. 13-13, and Sharks, they are really starting to push this to the limit now, and the momentum is totally in their favor at this point.
Absolutely. I mean, the money has finally been put to a halt for Winstrike. They will receive a maximum loss bonus, but are going to be limited on that regard, and they forced it up. Oh, Lord, they actually forced it up. It's going to be an AK, a Galil, and an AWP coming up from Winstrike, and they've got, what, 2 smokes, 2 Molotovs, and 4 flashbangs. That's about it. This is not looking very good for Winstrike. They're limited in all aspects of the game, and if they're unable to secure a victory here, that's 15-13 for Sharks and a potential victory for Sharks in the end. Winstrike, they're playing with fire. This is something we talked about in map 2, even in map 1 actually, where, you know, if you force up in rounds like this, if you are allowing yourself to be out of economy in the most crucial rounds to come, then you pretty much, you know, already lower the odds or the chances of yourself winning. And we can see right now it's still going to be a minute and 10 seconds left. Winstrike making their play through Ivy. They've got the bomb in main though. It looks like an A split, but it could come down to a B hit as well afterwards. Although I would bet my money on an A split here. It would make the most sense.
Yeah, especially with 3 players grouped to Ivy. This definitely seems like it is going to be an A bomb site hit, unless this is a fake. A very elaborate one to say the least. And 45 seconds just about to approach. The Molotov forces that T side back for now and really starts to make them very, very uncomfortable in this round. Of course, they have plenty of time, but lose the first man. And that makes it very, very difficult. And yeah, you can see they're already backing away. They do want to maybe go together through main. That might be an option.
Yeah.
But Nak is already prepared for this. He's eating, and as soon as he spots that first man, it's so much info gathered. Doesn't matter that he doesn't get a frag.
That's enough.
Because already the info has been picked up. Yeah, that's definitely enough. As Leo and Nak, they pick up 2 together. Exit prepared and ready as RCF and Nak deliver the damage. And Sharks, they take the lead. This is 14-13. And with Winstrike forcing into this round, there is no money going into this side. Of course, the loss bonus is at its maximum.
Do they chase World Edit? Do they kill him? Okay, they don't. Luckily, he keeps the AWP. Yeah, as you said, though, the money is gone. Loss bonus maximum still doesn't warrant enough for a full buy, or at least with AKs and full Kevlars. This is horrible for for Winstrike, even for World Edit at this point. You know, the IGL, what do you have to be thinking in this case? How do you have to feel about this? You know, you were leading 11-4. Now it's 14-13. You've gotten barely 2 rounds together on your T side, and this is... You know, this is concerning, and Sharks, look at this. The aggression coming out from Sharks towards main and towards Pop is just astonishing. And as we can see right now, it is going to be a bit of a B hit, perhaps a split through Ivy. Winstrike, they're risking a lot, and they didn't really full invest completely, but they're certainly close to, and not exactly in a very comfortable spot themselves. And World Edit, what a shot to make though. It's the first man. It's JNT to fall. RCF loses Leo Dunkey as well. This is complicated, but Sharks able to make a comeback with at least 1 second Molotov. The Molotov deployed on site. That might be enough. RCF holds the line, gets 1 more. Oh my god, RCF. Does he get a 3rd? Yes, he does. What? Sharks, they're somehow still alive in this 2v2 left. Quick. Yeah, that's a free kill, right? Surely it is. Yes, it is. And quick. A double. Holy Winstrike, they're playing balls of steel. They've got pistols and an AWP, and yet they still somehow make up a win where they were unable to do anything at all beforehand. How is this possible?
Not too sure, but Winstrike definitely know. 14-14 tied up, and a pause to come through. At this point, you can really see this 3rd map even potentially going to overtime.
Yeah.
Sharks, though, they have to win this round. If they do, they take most of the money away from this T side, and especially with the loss bonus being taken down a step, it does put less money into that team, but they still, of course, would have plenty. Even Boomich on 4,500 this time before obviously purchasing his Kevlar and utility. So, yeah, there is money on both of these sides. Sharks, of course, having to rebuy a double AWP setup at this point, I think, is the smartest. RCF's been pretty good backing JNT up with that secondary AWP, so there's no reason to not play that.
Very accurate. Like, he hits most of his shots and is able to secure those victories, or more so those early entries. RCF peeking upward this time. It's going to be caught by World Edit. Oh my. What a turnaround. What is going on? Sharks, they did so well up to this point. Now they're being thrown back into the mix, thrown back into the grinder. A man advantage by Winstrike. They're hitting B. They're going for the full commitment. Nax already made it to side though, and Leo gets one. It's going to be second for Nax. Oh my god, Sharks! They're somehow still keeping composure, still keeping themselves in this game, in this round more than anything. And there goes another one. Nax, what? Oh my god! World edit. No chance. JNT shuts him down. That's the round. That's potentially the game. It will be another buy for Winstrike. Two players though limited on their head armor. Even then, Quick and Norbert, they're only going to pick a Kevlar and AK, and that's it. And this is... oh, Lord. Match pause. What a game to behold. And Sharks, 15-14, one away, and it's their best of three. And they go home, or at least they go to sleep with a 1-1 result in the second season, second week of LOOT.BET.
Thing is, if Sharks lost that round... because it's the CT side, and generally the money doesn't favor that side, we would have been seeing Winstrike 15-14, having a full buy. Sharks wouldn't have been able to put much into that round. But because it's an entirely different scenario, we do see Winstrike with that purchase, because that loss bonus is really helping them out. And right now, potential of overtime is strong, but the buy round for Winstrike is as weak as it has been. They have the AKs, but it is so limited. Only 2 men with any type of utility. Heavily reliant upon the aim duels and upon getting that early surprise on that Shark side. And still, Boomich playing close to Ivy, backed up, or at least opposed by Exit and JNT, and AWP holding down this position. If JNT gets a flash in there now, could be a time to strike, but still, Exit, he's playing close, but 2 kills already found. And the chance of overtime might just be confirmed. Quick takes a third, and down into a 5-on-2. It seems like Winstrike might have just done enough to keep themselves alive. And yes, they have. 15-15, and we go into overtime for this third map.
Overtime indeed, coming up. 6 more rounds of gameplay. And we'll see how well this turns it for, well, whoever it might be. We'll be back after a short intermission though, guys. So do not go anywhere, and we shall return after a short break.
LOOT.BET. Made for live betting.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to LOOT.BET CS League Season 2. We'll continue this second half. Again, we seem to have a bit of an intermission, so we'll actually return to that intermission. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, guys. We casters need a few toilet breaks in between the games as well, so we'll be back once the countdown actually finishes, and we'll continue with our second half.
All right. So as we get overtime about to begin, most likely we'll go to an ad break at around 38 seconds or so. But this game really serving its purpose of being an entire best of 3. About to go into overtime. MR3 $16,000. Whether or not we'll get cooked by the ad break is to be seen. But apparently not. You stuck with me for another 30 seconds. But even so, this is turning out to be quite the extensive series. And of course, we'll be back even after this game. We're back for another 3 best of 3s tomorrow. Kicking it off with Namiga versus Chaos. And we have No Chance versus Virtus Pro. Probably one of the standout games of round number 2. And then Alternate Attacks versus Trick to end off the day. So a very interesting set of games. But going into this overtime, this is where it's a battle of the momentum, really. It's a battle to really make sure that your team is fully there and ready. Yep. But getting into this, it's going to be an interesting set of overtime. Winstrike, of course, going to be on the side where they really failed to make as many rounds as they would have liked. But again, so did Sharks. So,
yep,
we'll have to see who the momentum is with for this overtime.
Well, I guess we can say that the momentum kind of sways both ways a little bit and certainly gives an upper hand to one or the other at any given point in time. Although, it's fair to say that Winstrike, the way they've been playing their T side up to this point, has been pretty disappointing. They've had a few rounds of success where it was an unrivaled success. Even nobody from Sharks was able to respond to them. Whilst for the most part, it was a pretty dominant performance out of the CT side, and you know it should continue to be shown so by Sharks, because for the majority of the rounds they played on the second half, it was Sharks taking it back in their hands. 11-4 first half, 11-4 second half, and here we go. Overtime, 1 minute on the clock. First round is about to be done. Leo, close range though. Oh, the timing to pull off the Molotov though. That is an unfortunate one. And Knack does punish, but Boomich. Good reaction, although again, Norbert already picks up a player on B side. That's the bomb plan. That's the round. Or at least should be, right?
Punish Norbert, going way too aggro, but again, KNT the same, and already they've spotted exit. They know where he's coming from. And at this point, yeah, well done it, doing the right thing, getting that smoke down, playing passively. There's no time for mistakes at this point. You have to make sure that everything you do has a logical response, and his exit tries to make his way up toward that close proximity of the smoke. And the Mola goes down onto it as well, but a smoke to be deployed. Quick to finish. First round of OT going to Winstrike. And a successful one is that.
Indeed it does. Indeed successfully so. I would call that the biggest flaw there was the fact that it was Leo, right? In mid, if I remember correctly.
Yes, with the Molotov.
Yeah, with the Molotov. So basically, when you're in a position like that, you either have another player helping you out, Molotoving deep, or you call out for support, somebody flashes or something, and then you throw a Molotov. In any case, you usually just want to hold the weapon because you never know when an opponent is going to push you. So Sharks, you know, losing perhaps because of a few personal mistakes out of their players, and this is overtime. There is no more time, or no more room for mistakes. Winstrike will abuse every single inch they can if that brings them victory, and we can see already they're pushing out towards Olaf. They're trying to get control of A, or at least fighting for it, not going too aggressively and not going too passively, keeping Sharks on their toes and ever so vigilant about what's coming up next. I kind of like the fact that Sharks are not really overreacting to this. They're not using all their utility immediately. They're not pop flashing immediately, not throwing everything they have. But they're kind of keeping calm, and well, calm will bring them at least 1 kill. That's going to be Mr. Boomage to fall. His exit is able to secure an entry. Second one, no, it's Bondic to actually deny that. 2 HP left, somehow he's still alive. Demolly's the old trainer. It's Norbert for the third. Okay, this is where things could take a bit of a wilder turn. Still a 3-on-3 left. Or excuse me, a 3-on-4. Although we could count it as a 3-on-3 because Bondic has 2 HP, but again, this is a vital scenario. Sharks, luckily enough, they don't need to win this to keep another bye the next round, but certainly need to do a lot better than they did up to this point. It's going to be exit with 2, and this is it. A 2v2 retake, certainly doable from this point forward.
especially with Quick having to dance around this bomb site here. Exit. He makes his way up. He spots the first. Can't adjust, though, and that makes it a 1 versus 2 now. Little world that he's being forced back. There is time to get on the defuse. Has to try and spam, though. And whilst he does, he can't land it. He does land the defuse. And Exit, he sort of meat shields the final man, and JNT does come out on top. 16-16, and the scores are tied yet again. If only he had a rifle, surely would have been certain death, but it wasn't to be. And Winstrike, they do drop a round in return.
That's a callback to Nuke, if you remember. Bondik, first Ninja defusing, and then it was Sharks actually trying to retake the site, and it was Boomage denying that defuse, if you remember as well. So that's pretty sexy to see. Winstrike, obviously not Winstrike not succeeding at cancelling the defuse, so the roles kind of reverse in that case. Sharks, the ones to come up ahead. But in any case, a toe for a toe, an eye for an eye. 2 ops in the hands of Sharks. 3 AUGs, excuse me, and quite a little bit of utility here and there. This is the last round of the first half of first overtime, though. And whoever wins it will have a bit of an easier moment to kick off their second half. Of course, switching the roles, putting Winstrike on the CT side. But a calm round up to this moment. Not a single man yet dropped or killed, and that Molotov kind of hurts a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think that was the expected output. I'm pretty sure it was going to go to stop sign potentially, but still, 40 seconds on the clock, and RCF, he'll be the man to land the first frag. Leo trying to hunt, but Bondik does manage to find one in return. Trades it back into a 4 versus 4 now. Exit playing on the brink of death here. Pretty sure Bondik, feet were spotted. Exit takes 1, tries to adjust for the second, but the AUG not going to work like that. Boomich and World Edit, they find themselves 2, but not before JNT replies. These frags back and forward. Bomb goes down with plenty of time, and Boomich, he takes out 1 more, quick to finish. And Winstrike, they get an advantage going into that CT side. That might be what they just needed as they go up 17-16.
Pretty much so. I mean, Winstrike, they did a pretty fabulous job of the first half, winning it convincingly. And I would be surprised if they were unable to win at least 1 round right now on this on the CT side they're moving on to. Although we have to give it to Sharks, their T side was not too bad as well. I mean, sure, they lost 11-4, but the 4 rounds they did get were were well executed. I guess we should give them that. But again, it is a little bit concerning, given that now Winstrike move on to their best position, or more so best place on the map, if you can call it that, where they can contend against pretty much anything you throw at them. And look at this. Quick and World Edit. The double up comes out. I love this. Finally we see this from Winstrike. I wanted to see this already on map 1 on Dust 2, but it didn't really come to play, and perhaps this will be the one thing that throws the advantage in their favor. Boomich again in pop, his signature spot. We have a pretty default 2-1-2 split, with 2 players playing towards Ivy and 2 players towards B overall. This might not be, the most optimal of setups. Okay, Boomich gonna be pop flash. No, that's pretty nice. Mid-air hit by Exit. And it's gonna be Sharks that are already on A site. They're hitting from main and pop, and it works out somehow. Oh, whoa. Okay, right. World Edit. That works, I guess.
If there's any way to find a kill, it's like that, right? Norbert, he's hunting for one of his own as well. Luckily, JNT will find one in return. Can't adjust to the head there of Leo Drunky, and that makes it a 4-on-2 now. Started well for Winstrike, but it's going to finish quite drastically. And as Quick gets shut down, World Edit at least finds one in return. Tries to at least hop his way out of that Ivy position. It seems like Sharks, they'll tie the scoreline up at 17. They need all 3 rounds in this second half of overtime to be able to find victory. And with Leo to finish the head of World Edit, makes it tied up. And at this point, on this T side, it seems like Sharks playing way more pertinently than they did on that first sort of spell of the map, already picking up first success here. And right now for Winstrike, have to win this round to keep themselves either to take victory at 19 or go into double overtime. But Sharks, again, the momentum's been with them since they made that comeback in the second half, really.
That is true. Making it up as they go. And somehow it's working out. Sharks. Well, if they pick both here, if they actually win this, I'm going to be pleasantly surprised. Certainly something I did not expect. I mean, we both called that Winstrike should be winning this, but it's going to be Leo and RCF that find two. Oh my god. Winstrike, what is going on? Their defense is melting away. It's like a hot knife through butter. There's nothing that can stop this play, and Norbert finally shuts down the one man that's carrying the bomb. But it doesn't really stop the rest of the horde to keep on going. The Brazilians are doing extreme damage, although Norbert in the World Edit somehow keeping this one round alive. It's a 2v2, but not for long. Nak hits his mark, and World Edit with the missed shot, unfortunately. That is the round gone. 18-17, overtime again, second one, or victory for Sharks and their series.
And it comes down to this right now, that Sharks, they're a round away from confirming this best of three, of defeating Winstrike in what has been an incredibly long series, a hard battled one at that. But still, there is one more round to go. We either head into double overtime or Sharks confirm victory here, and Winstrike, they'll keep two men toward that B bomb site. I'm liking the fact they're doing that. It makes the defense way more susceptible to being able to hold off these types of rushes that Sharks might bring out, especially with how they've been liking to hit their bomb sites. But still playing very, very default. Sharks slowing down incredibly and just making sure that they know each step of the way at this point, because they don't want to make a single mistake when it is so close. They can have the victory in their hands in a matter of seconds if they play this right and quick. That's good grenade damage to kick this off. Still plenty of time left, though, in Sharks.
Oh, no, Boomich. No, what?
Yeah, Boomich, why? Why would you push in that type of scenario? That opens it up already. And that should begin to direct Sharks toward that A bomb site. There's a free passage through Pop Dog now.
I mean, they might not realize this and they might not even use that spot, but just the fact that they get Boomich is so important. Now they know, okay, Pop is clear. All we have to do is now, stay clear of that AWP that they have on World Edit, and we're good to go. And I'm not sure why Boomich does that, but that was a huge overstep, and perhaps just the nerves getting at him. He's just, so mad that it's being played this late, but they chose this time of day to play, so it's up to them that they are this late in playing it. In any case, it's going to be a B hit, 20 seconds remaining. Norbert gets only the one kill. That might not be enough. Quick! He is not even good for one. A 4-2 Bondik in World Edit. This is it. This is the final crawl. The final curtain is closing. And above all else, it is all or nothing here for Winstrike. They have to go for it. No more room for error. No comebacks, no callbacks, no drawbacks, no help, no nothing. It's Bondik for one. World Edit gets shut down, though, and it's all eyes on Bondik. 39 HP, and we'll make it 0. 19-17. GG. Sharks pick up the victory. 2-1 final score of this.